Hi everyone, Dave here at East Rosebud Fly and Tackle in Billings. Welcome, thanks for joining. Today I'm going to tie for you basically a downsized woolly bugger. I think we get into this mindset that woolly buggers have to all be size 2, 3x long hooks, cone heads, all this elaborate stuff, and it doesn't have to be. One of my favorite flies is a small woolly bugger that I tie as a damsel fly imitation. It's a great fly not only for trout but for panfish and for bass. It's a fun fly to fish. It's an easy fly to tie. So let's show you. I'm starting out with a 2x long nymph hook. This could be a 52-62. Anytime I'm using a bead, I like to use a 2x long versus a 1x long hook. This is a size 12. I'm going to put a few wraps of size 020 lead wire on that. You do not have to weight this. If you have a sinking tip line and you'd rather use it to fish it deeper, that'll work as well. I like to fish this around the edges of the weeds. The pockets in the weeds itself is also a good place to fish these. Damsel flies here in Montana typically hatch around the 1st of June. Can be a massive hatch and some very exciting fishing. Just remember that the damsels migrate towards the shore, so you should be on the shore casting out and retrieving towards the shore. Near the surface, a couple little twitches, let it rest and drop, a couple more twitches, rest and drop. The takes are usually extremely hard. So that's 8 wraps of 020. Go ahead and consolidate this and get it pushed up back of the bead. Okay, for thread I'm using Chartreuse Veevus 10-aught. Make a bit of a thread dam back here to keep that lead where we want it and bring it onto the back of the hook shank. Now you can use marabou. For the tail I'm going to be using some UV2 Ostrich plume, just the tips of it, small tips of this stuff. Damsel flies have 3 tails. I don't know that you really need to imitate the number of that. What we want here is movement. Movement is critical on any subsurface patterns. All right. Make this about hook shank in length. Tie it right here to the back. Go ahead and tie it all the way forward to the back of the lead wraps to even up that hook shank. I'm going to use for my rib some small golden olive ultra wire. And again, tie this in at the back of the lead wraps. I'm going to tie it on my side so I can counter wrap it through the hackle. For the body, I'm using some Midge diamond braid, fluorescent chartreuse. This is an excellent product when you're tying small. It wraps easily, it wraps flat, and it comes in a variety of colors. And it gives you a little bit of sparkle too. Alright, again at the back of the lead wraps, what we're trying to do is even this all up so that our overbody is nice and clean. Now there's a couple of different ways you can tie in your hackle. I'm using a bugger pack here. This is Grizzly dyed dark olive. If you tie it in the base here and wrap back, you're going to have a gap here where the thick part of the quill is. I'm going to show you how to tie it in a little differently. I'm going to bring my thread about 1 diameter width of the body forward, and this is where I'm going to tie in the tip of the hackle. Make yourself a division point. We want to make sure that the shiny side is forward so that the hackle wraps back. Again, make sure we're just one width of our body material forward. By doing this, we're using the smallest part of the quill, which means our gap behind the bead will be minimal. Take one complete wrap of your body material, whether this is Chanel or whatever, behind the hackle. This also helps to keep the hackle from being pulled off the back of the fly. One wrap in front. Get this hackle out of my way. And then continue to wrap it in touching wraps all the way to the bead. Just a couple of wraps to tie it down. You don't want to add any unnecessary bulk. Now we can take our hackle, make sure it's on the edge so you get the full effect of that. You can also just tie this in as a collar if you prefer. And again, right to the back of the bead, just a couple of wraps. You can say this way we've used the thinnest part of the quill. We don't have a big unsightly gap back here that we need to hide. Just another way you can tie in your hackle. Now I'm just going to reverse wrap the wire through the hackle, but you need to always support the hackle with something. Thread, wire, something. And then tie this off and break it. Then I'll add a little bit of a hot spot here with some UV red ice dub. Doesn't take but maybe an inch of thread. I've been fishing this for decades in lakes and ponds, warm water and cool water, and it works fabulous for trout and panfish. Alright, that's all we need is basically about one wrap. And then whip finish behind the bead. There you have it. I have a mini woolly bugger. To me, it's more effective in more situations than a large woolly bugger is, but it gives you some options. Thanks for joining in. We'll see you next time.